Hi guys, Bomber here. Welcome back to the channel, and today, actually some times ago, a new card was released. It's the Bribery card, and so today I'm gonna show you a deck featuring this card. And this deck is an Holy Rat Isadora with a little bit of a twist by adding this card and some others which are not so common cards in a Isadora deck. So, here we have the deck. It's an Holy Rat Isadora, so our main win condition is playing Holy Rats, obviously, so we run 2 copies of them. Then for economy we run a copy of Usury and a copy of Alolan, because probably instead of the loan I would have placed a second copy of an Usury, but most of the times the second Usury isn't as much effective as the first copy, and the same goes for the second copy of Alolan, because Alolan fully upgraded costs only 2, because you're actually drawing a card, so the cost of the Alolan is only 2. And it gives you 8 gold, so that's plus 6. Instead, if it is unupgraded by 1, it's only plus 5 gold, since it costs really 3. And so that's really not that much effective as the fully upgraded one, and this is true for all cards, but for economy card in particular, that's very much more of a concern than any other card. For example, I don't mind running a non-upgraded copy of Holy Rat, because it's already so expensive and it is a win condition anyway, so the fully upgraded or not is not that noticeable in those type of cards. The same goes for Tribute, which we have again 2 copies of, and it's another time because Tribute is such a really effective card for its cost. It's a really cost effective card, because you're actually gaining 4 resources for 12 gold, so that's actually 3 gold. Actually, the fully upgraded one should be 10 gold, so you're actually gaining 4 resources for 10, if it is fully upgraded, which average for like 2.5 gold per resource gained. And if you compare it to the other Vespitole cards, normally a resource is worth 4 gold in cost, so definitely it's a very effective card at gaining resources. And also we gain 1 magic out of it, which is pretty essential to the Holy Rat to just make it stronger. It's true that we could run Prayer or Devotion, but really, as Tribute is such an effective card, it's much better to run the Tribute, because, as I said, it's a very cost-effective card. That's like 3 times that I say this. Then we want to have some ways to recover from a bad start, actually a good start from our opponent, since we are giving most of the times usuries to them. So Malediction to answer pretty wide boards, and instead Bribery, and here it is the new card. Bribery is to answer those strong allies, like for example if our opponent is going for a Worship, which is not that seen into the meta, but if he wanted to go for it, we could answer that. The most common threat that we want to remove with the Bribery is Toad, the Zamzigar and the Veil Wardens, which are a big concern against that Zalazam deck, so Bribery is here to solve those type of problems. It's really strong against the Veil Warden, because if they actually gain some charges during the game, we can actually deny those charges by just discarding it, and it's not a kill, so the Veil Warden will not activate. So it's really strong against those type of matchups, which is really one of the weaknesses of Isadora, a really aggressive decks, because on the long run Isadora just will win, because it's a Vespitole deck, and so you know that the more the games goes on, the better the chances for a Vespitole to win. And also, given the survivability of Sister Isadora Hero Power, it's really, once the game goes on for a bit, probably Isadora will win anyway, so we just need to answer those early threats, like Zamzigar and Bribery does a really good job at dealing with them. And then we run a Synod and a Sibling Scroll, which are really just some must-have in any Vespitole deck, really. Sometimes you could cut them off, but really they are just very good cards to have, and so they found a place in this deck, and probably they won't hurt. So, with that said, let's just jump into some match and see how this deck works. So, we are up against a Firondel deck, so for what seems to be a normal Medris deck. So we really got a really bad starting bank, so we probably just want to pass, because really we can't do anything else. So probably I want to go for a Synod, and really Synod also helps with those bad starting banks, and so we probably want to go for it. As really I don't mind bumping out a Malediction. So probably we are gonna go for the usury, because it's our main with the loan also, but loan is really not that much an economy tool. It's more like a tempo tool that really makes us go so much faster, but in the long run it's not an economy tool. Instead the usury is obviously one. So it's going pretty hard on the subterfuges, so I really don't want to go so crazy on cars into our decks, because they will probably be subterfuged, but really we can't do anything else. So let's just go for a tribute and hope that it doesn't throw it. Might as well heal, because really the food is only here to help us heal, because we don't have ways to convert foods into stuff. So he didn't get the tribute, but he did get the synod, which is unfortunate, but probably next turn we will start going for Holy Rats, and so we are fine with that. He also did get the tribute, but he did play it. I'm not so convinced about that move. So yeah, he goes for a stratagem, but I really don't see a win condition in his deck, if not for the Holy Rat in his bank, which was one of our own cards. So yeah, we can go for the Holy Rat, so we probably want to go for it. We are healing a bit, so okay. He obviously grabs the Holy Rat, so that's unfortunate. Let's see if he plays it. He does not, so yeah, that's the right move. So yeah, that's pretty unlucky, but we probably will regain an Holy Rat into our bank. Actually, we do have one into our bank, and probably next turn we will go for it. So that's not a big deal. Probably, yeah, you should have gone for the Arson. He also managed to remove all our magic, which is really unlucky for us, but I'm really fine with those type of bad luck. I'm really okay with that. It happens most of the time, so okay, so we want to go for the tribute obviously, and then probably grab the Holy Rat, probably go for the loan as well, probably just go for the Holy Rat. That seems better. So let's see if the subterfuge managed to steal our only Holy Rat. It did not, so that's lucky. And also, we did draw the Holy Rat ourselves, which is obviously nice, but there is even more nicer, because because the subterfuge will not be able to steal it next turn. So we probably want to go for the Holy Rat first, because we actually value more redrawing the Holy Rat instead of the tribute. So now we can go for the loan and try to search some other times for the Holy Rat. The Sibylline Scroll really helps on that, and in fact we do redraw the Holy Rat, and that's GG. Well played. So, this time we're up against a Pocky deck, for what seems to be a Miracle deck, which is really fun to play against and with. So yeah, he's also going pretty slow, but that's fine. So he starts off with a Synod, so probably he has some economy tool which he needs to get as our own, but we do restock the usury, so that's lucky for us. So let's go for it obviously, because it's true that he will probably go for the tribute or whatever. Yeah, the thief plus the tribute, but as I said, this is our economy tool, so there is no point in running it if then we don't play it. So yeah, we can go for the tribute ourselves, and then probably next turn we will start going for Holy Rats. Probably not next turn, because we will not have the economy for that. Yeah, we could grab that, actually not, for one resource, but we would have spent magic anyways if we did have the resource, enough resource to buy it, and so there is not so much point in going for it. It's because we actually want to stockpile magic, and that's pretty obvious. So I probably don't want to go for the loan, I actually want to play my coins instead. So again, we are pretty close to lethal already, because all the rats are so deadly. We just need to probably draw another copy, and that's a good game. So let's see if we manage to do it. We seems to not, but we could go for loan into Holy Rat. So yeah, let's probably try that. So yeah, we are one off lethal. Let's see if the wishing coin procced. It does not, but really, that's a pretty much good game at this point. Let's see. Okay, he plays the tribute. He should also play the Gilded Warrior. That's 4 more health for him. So he heals. He does not play the Gilded Warrior, and that will cost probably the game. So yeah, that's... It would have been a good game anyways. Actually not, because we did not have the resource, so that's a misplay by his part. So, we're up against a mirror match, but it does not seem to be the same Olive Rat Isadora. It seems to be a Miracle Isadora, another time. A really fun deck to play against and with. So he started off with a Loan, he will probably go for a Miracle, so bad luck for him, he goes for an Orphan Gang. And really, I'm not unhappy, because if he did get a Worship I would be unhappy, but really I'm unhappy anyway, because the Miracle is so swingy, so RNG, and there is not so much a problem into RNG cards. It's just that it has a variation which is too high. He could grab an Orphan Gang or a Bishop, so you see here, this is the RNG nature of the Miracle, and really, in my opinion, is not at all fun to play against. But anyway, probably some people actually enjoy this stuff or whatever. So we can remove the Bishop with the Bribery, so we will obviously do that. So yeah, Catapult, it's fine. Yeah, he's redrawing all the stuff, obviously. So probably we want to go for the Tributes and the Olive Rats then, that's our plan, obviously. So yeah, let's see if we can go for the Tribute, not, let's see if the Wishing Coin procs, it did not. So yeah, having a fully upgraded Tribute would have helped in this situation, but we can't have everything from life. So let's go for our one to actually help us cycle back to our card. Let's actually grab another copy of Tribute. We can kill the Catapult or the Bishop and the Orphan Gang. Probably the Bishop, because I don't want him to recover, but he has 2 Loans and an Usury against, so probably the Bishop is fine. So yeah, I probably want to remove the biggest threat on the board, and by spending 3 resources I would have removed the 4 attacks, combined the Catapult and the Orphan Gangs. Instead of spending 3 resources I would have only removed 2 threats, which are from the Bishop. So let's see if we could grab the Olive Rat. Not yet, but we could grab it by spending magic, and I actually want to do that, because we would be able to remove the Bishop anyway by doing that, and in the meantime we do have an Olive Rat in the deck, which is always nice. So yeah, it's pretty much on the negative side. He did get a Malediction, which is also a very high value card, but we don't have so much allies, so it actually is not a value card. By itself it would have been, but not in this matchup for him. So obviously we want to play the Olive Rat. Let's see if we can kill the Bishop. We can't, obviously, but it did hit the Orphan Gang, so we can actually keep the magic. And obviously I didn't see the embargo, so that was a misplay. I should have attacked or healed. So yeah, it did give us an Usury, so this will make us possible to remove the Bishop. So we probably want to do that. We will play an Usury of our own, since our opponent did recover from the negative, so no point in not doing that. I probably want to still use the Bribery, because I want to keep my magic for the Olive Rat. Let's just heal, and probably also attack with the Skull, just to see if we can heal a bit. Sometimes he could, even 1 health points could resolve into a loss or a win. So yeah, the embargoes are really crippling our magic generation, which is what we need right now. So yeah, a bit unlucky, didn't reroll anything, but given the luck on the Miracle Pose, it's the least amount of bad luck he could get. So yeah, the Inquisitor is pretty threatening. We do get a Loan, which we can use the Bribery for. Probably remove the Inquisitor, which is the biggest threat. We do redraw the Tribute, we do also redraw the Bribery, so might as well remove the Supplicant. But probably I did play it more for the cycling capabilities, and probably redraw the Olive Rat or whatever, and not for the removal aspect of it. So yeah, it seems that we are in a pretty good situation right now. We can go for Tribute into Loan into probably Olive Rat. So let's see. Yeah, we can go for the Holy Rat, and I probably don't want to spend the magic for it. Might as well play the Bribery, because again, it has some cycling capabilities, obviously because it draws a card, and you've seen that we did draw a tribute with it, so it's really nice. Let's go for the Holy Rat, because we can start doing that. I probably want to keep the Bribery, because it's true that we could cycle back to some cards, but we do only have 2 cards in hand, and you should know already that the more coins we have in hand, the better our cycling capabilities. So yeah, let's go for a tribute, Holy Rat, and yeah, that's GG. So, we are up against another time a Matrix deck. So he starts off by summoning a Conjured Argoret. Let's see if the Wishing Coin gives us a proc so that we can kill it. We can't, so we just want to wait and probably next turn go for a Tribute, which we can't, so let's just wait another time. So yeah, we probably want to... yeah, okay, so the Diviner Charm did proc the Wishing Coin, which we can go for the Private, so yeah, that's really nice. Let's see if he steals it with the Subterfuge, or really, if it does, I may rage out really hardly. So, we can give him an Usury, and probably we will, since, again, it's our economy tool, and so... it's true that we give him an advantage, but it's also true that on the long run we gain so much more value with the Usury. And also we are up against some Matrix deck, which doesn't really benefit too much by gaining economy early on, because he has all effects which are just on the play, we could say. So yeah, he does steal the tribute, but he does play it, and probably that's a misplay in my opinion. So again, the Usury doesn't give so much value to a Matrix player, because it doesn't grow his economy exponentially, and so really, we gain on the long run, it's just better for us. So let's just kill the Berserker, because again, we just want to take this game as long as possible, and then probably just win out, because again, the Spitole is so much better at going on the long run. So yeah, next turn we probably can go for another Tribute, and then we can start our way to go for an Holy Rat, as well as next turn. So yeah, he continues on stealing the Tributes, but he's playing them, so yeah, I'm pretty fine with that. Let's go for a Tribute. We might as well go for another Usury, and probably this will be our last Usury. So then we can also go for an Holy Rat, but we will be spending 3 magic on that, and so we probably want to wait. We also draw a Bribery, which is useful to remove the Fire Ship, instead of spending 3 resources. Actually, we are spending 3 gold by doing that, but gold is less valuable than our other stuff. So we should be really careful about his stuff, because he's being a Spitole in his own. He also did grab an Holy Rat, so that's GG. Well, so let's hope that he doesn't see that. So yeah, he did not see that, so yeah, it's actually bad to expect a misplay from your opponent, but it's such luck, it's only natural to wish for it. So yeah, let's just heal, also might as well go for a Synod, and probably we want also to attack with the Skulls. So that's 15, if he does redraw an Holy Rat with his only Tribute, we are dead, but we can't play around it, so let's just hope that he doesn't get one. So yeah, he didn't get it, so pretty lucky for us, but again, we did see the luck by his part. So probably next turn we'll go Holy Rat into Tribute, and then Sabling Scroll, and just hope that we do redraw the Holy Rat. And that should be a good game. So let's see. Tribute, then Sabling Scroll into Tribute. We could go for Usury to search out for other stuff. Might as well go for Bribery, still nothing. So yeah, a bit unlucky, but not that much, so can't complain really. He did redraw the Holy Rat, but with only 4 magic is not as threatening as before. And probably next turn instead we should be able to win. We are pretty lucky on our own because we are redrawing so much stuff, but again, we probably have been lucky both sides. Probably we were more lucky, but That's the main core mechanic of Vespidole. Luck by drawing cards. So yeah, he's actually taking a lot of time, I don't know why. So let's go for Olirat into Olirat. So yeah, that's GG. So we are in 4 trifecta, might as well go for 5 and complete the quest, since we are at it. So, it's a revenge game from the same user as before, so we do know that she doesn't run a win condition by itself, the Pyrondel, I mean. So, we probably want to go for Synod to search for our tech, our economy tools, but probably I'm still fine by going for an Olirat or attribute by itself, without economy for it. So, let's go for it. He's playing the Seeds, but they probably not gain so much value now, since we don't have any cards into our deck. And so we are happy that she is playing it right now, since she will not play it later, when we will have a tribute, for example, into our deck, so that's really nice. Might as well go for an usury, since we did gain it, and it's a relatively early game, so we might as well... we don't dislike economy in the early game. So then we probably want to go for Sibling Scroll and search for the tribute, which yes, so that's nice. With the Skull we can kill safely the Conjured Argret without considering the magic loss, which we need for the Holy Rat. She's still continuing to play the tribute, and really I don't feel like that's the right move, because we gain an advantage more consistently. So we probably want to go for the Holy Rat, since that's only 3 magic spent, and having an Olirat in the deck this early is so much better. So yeah, just play to the seat, but we do have the Olirat into our hands, so that's not a big deal. He went for a Olirat of his own, but we do have the... actually, we do have equal magic, but we can get more advantage out of it. So let's go for another Sibling Scroll. We do get another Olirat. That's becoming pretty threatening for him. So yeah, he did redraw the Olirat from our deck, and finally she is not playing it. That's the right move. But we can play another one from our bank. So she did redraw 2 copies of them. That's pretty threatening. Probably you should play your own Olirat, so yeah. Instead, not playing the Olirat from our own deck is a fine move. So we can go for a Sibling Scroll. Probably play the coins first, then go for Olirat and try to search for it with the Sibling Scroll later. So yeah, no luck. Let's try another time. We do get a tribute, so that's still fine. I'm happy with that. Let's attack with the Skull, because every health point could matter. Because obviously the Isadora heals when we attack. So she did regain us the Holy Rat. I'm not sure that was the right move, but we would have won anyways, probably, so that's fine. So yeah, So actually, that's 5 in a row. Let's see how we place in the rankings. So yeah, we are at 1,765, so we are not that far away from the top. So let's try and grind some more. We actually went for a meta breaker deck. It ended up being, so that's 5 games in a row in a pretty high ladder scenario, so that's really a good way to say that this deck is pretty nice, it's pretty consistent. We didn't see another time the matchup against white boards, for example against Daramek with the Malediction. We didn't see still the Zalazam matchup, but we did see that Bribery did come in handy in some scenarios, like for example against Bishop or some other stuff. And really, this card, you may say, this is a Bribery deck with only 1 copy of a Bribery, and you barely play the Bribery by itself. And that's obviously true, because Bribery is not an economy tool or a win condition card, it's obviously a tech card, and so it should be treated like one. For example, another card which is a new card, and probably I still need to make a video about it. Probably I did. So yeah, that was the Condottiere. That's a win condition card, so you can run more copies of it, or actually rely your deck more on it. Instead, the Bribery card is just a attached tool card to use in your deck to just get some better win rate against some type of matchups, or if you really are playing a strategy and it really helps that strategy out. And so it is both of those things right now. Because, as I said again, it does gives us a better advantage against a bad matchup, which is the Zalazam deck, by clearing the Whale Wardens and the Zamzigars early on, which we do suffer as we are good in the late game, but not as much in the early game. And this solves this problem. Instead, and also the usury may give our opponent an advantage early on, and he could go for a really big allies, like for example a Warship or a Colossal Auroch, which are not so meta cards, but they could happen, and the Bribery really helps to solve that problem. So yeah, with this recap, let's just re-jump another time into the meta and see, continue seeing this deck in the works. So, we are up against a really bad player, so let's see if his name matches his abilities. For what seems to be a right light deck, so probably right now we will be able to see the Malediction in action, probably, so let's just obviously start with an usury. We don't mind the Lepers, so actually we do mind the Scrymer instead, so we should be able to kill the Scrymer next turn. Didn't play it, so that's fine. We can go for another usury, as again we are pretty good in the late game anyways, so might as well try and gain as much economy as we can in the early stages. It's true that our opponent also will gain so much economy, but we are fine with that. So yeah, we can go for a tribute, so the next turn we can go for another one. That's really sick. So yeah, right now probably the Malediction adds some good value, as that's 4 attacks per Malediction played. Actually, also the Volley Rat is really good, but the Malediction right now can afford only the Malediction. So it also did hit the Scrymer, which is what we wanted, so that's fine. Next turn we will probably go for Ratcatcher to search for the Scrymer, but she didn't get it. So that's good for us. Still, probably we can't play anything. Let's just kill the Ratcatcher, and yeah, that's it probably for this turn. Now we can start and search for our Holy Rat. So yeah, let's just play the Malediction first. 2 usuries another time, that's pretty great. So yeah, let's go for the Holy Rat. And the Lepers are actually helping him a lot in this matchup, because we will have so much attacks which are undirected, and so the Lepers can have a chance to shine against those undirected damages only, because obviously the resource attacks ones are targeted and we can just ignore them. Instead, the Holy Rat is untargeted, but that's by the way, so yeah, that's perfectly lethal. Actually, overkill with the Malediction and stuff. So, this time we are up against a Mogesh deck. So yeah, let's see if we proc the Wishing Coin to go for the Synod and search for economy. We do not. So it goes for a Ceremonial Dance, which suggests a slow start, so we can actually ignore the fact that we didn't get economy and just go straight for the Holy Rat itself. So yeah, pretty slow play by him. So he goes for a Sacrificial Lamb, which is not the best play in my opinion. So yeah, let's also play the Wishing Coins first, so that we will have a stronger Holy Rat, hopefully. But all our Wishing Coins are obviously never activating. So yeah, the Scrivener combo with the Ceremonial Dance. Actually not, because he didn't have the Ceremonial Dance in play. But that's fine. So let's go for an Holy Rat. So we do kill the Scrivener, so no need to kill the Sacrificial Lamb. I don't care him getting some damages in, because really we don't care about taking damage as a Isadora. If we do also redraw the Holy Rat, that's pretty lucky. But not so much, since we don't have so much magic to play with it anyway. So let's go with Holy Rat. then Loan to actually search for another time the Holy Rat, which we don't get, so probably next turn we will wait to play the Sibling Scroll once we have a full hand, which gives us better chances to pull off an Holy Rat. And really we are just spamming Holy Rat as a way to generate magic, so probably we could also go for a Tribute to start being more consistent on the magic gain, and also it's a bit of economy, so yeah, probably I like more the fact of going to a Tribute, which goes as an Holy Rat, so that's pretty good for us. You see that health is not a problem with this deck. Really, the only struggle with this deck is against early threats, but if we can solve them with the Malediction or Bribery, in this case, we are pretty good to go. So yeah, if our opponent goes for a big board like this, for example, we can solve it with a Malediction. If he goes for a strong ally like a Zalazam, we can solve with a Bribery. So really, I don't see any weakness against this strategy. Probably want to go for a Sibling Scroll just because I want to get it and not be bumped out of the deck. So yeah, we do redraw the Holy Rat. We can go another time for the Sibling Scroll next turn, but probably we will wait for the later turn after this one. So yeah, he goes for some Sacrificial Lambs. I do see the synergy here with the Sacrificial Bees. The Sacrificial Bees gains the best value with really low health cards, like for example the Sacrificial Lamb. It's the best, obviously. So yeah, the Scrivener can't be sacrificed, so stop feeding yourself magic. If that was not for healing, but I doubt it. So yeah, that was a misplay, probably. So we can wait for the Sibling Scroll, really, because, as I said, next turn it will have better value with our full hand. So yeah, it goes for another time the Sacrificial Lamb. We could go for a Boar Fetish to actually have a Machine Gun Mogesh. So yeah, that's probably a pretty sick combo, replaying so much Sacrificial Lambs. You could also go for Boar Fetish, so yeah, it could be lethal. Let's see. So yeah, it goes for Boar Fetish. So yeah, pretty close to lethal, but not quite yet. So yeah, no, it's actually lethal. Yeah. Well, a very nice, nice combo. I don't mind losing to some cool combos like this one, or actually good play. So yeah, that's still fine. So it's unfortunate to end with a defeat. So let's jump into the last match if it is a win. So we are up another time against this type of Metris deck. Let's see if this time she has better luck. Probably you should play the Lucky first if you want to try and activate your hero power, which seems to be the synergy of this deck. So yeah. So she does restock 2 copies of Holy Rat, which is definitely nice. So we can start off by going early on for a Tribute, which can kill the Kotpur Suite. Also we are gaining a bunch of magic from the Wishing Coins, so our Holy Rats, when we will restock them, will be pretty strong. So let's go for Steinwood. I didn't see if she did redraw another time the Tribute and played it, probably yes. So yeah, she probably is playing another time the Tribute, which again, in my opinion, is not a great move. So we do restock the Holy Rat and we can go for it, so we probably will. So yeah, let's hope that she doesn't redraw the Holy Rat. She doesn't, so that's fine. Probably you should have played the Seat first, then playing the coins from the Subterfuge. That will probably assure you to draw the Holy Rat from our deck, but that's fine. So let's play the Sibling Scroll, and you see that here I misplayed, because I played a coin more than needed to play the Sibling Scroll, but that misplay and that since it was not the best move to do, actually gave us better luck on the draw, and so we actually drew the Holy Rat with less chance to do that. So that's obviously a joke. I did misplay. So we probably can go for another usury, but at this point of the game, not so much point in doing that, so it's better to pass. So she did draw the Holy Rat, so that's nice. But probably next turn we can play another one from our bank, and also she obviously played the Holy Rat. So we can have a chance to redraw the Holy Rat, which is pretty much a good game at this point. So let's try this first. Then let's see with the Cybering Scroll. We don't redraw the Holy Rat, but we can play another one from our deck. We do get another Cybering Scroll, which redraws us another Holy Rat, which redraws us another Holy Rat, and that's some sick luck, but that's also a good game. And really, I don't enjoy winning this way, with just sick luck. It was not my merit that I win. Probably, yeah, I did play well in the early game, but really that win was so cheaty in some way that I don't feel awarded for it. That's probably the problem with RNG, in my opinion. I really don't like RNG, so really I'm not happy with that win, but I guess some people do, so that's obviously fine. So with that final complaint, that's it for this video. Hope you liked it and find it useful. Be sure to leave down below a comment to let me know what you want to see in the next videos. And as always, see ya!